Welcome to Testing the Space, the podcast where you can learn how to make your dreams come true. Boom, boom, boom. What is up, guys? This is episode number 11 of the Testing the Space podcast. We're going to go over infrastructure cryptos, what that means for the crypto that works behind the scenes. And without further ado, this is going to be Jake with your lightning crypto news.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jake on your lightning crypto news tonight. What I have for you to start off is a big one in the crypto space. So Australia's first Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF is being listed next week, meaning that exposure to the space is going to increase as a whole, just for the simple fact that the exchanges there decided that was a good idea. So being the fact that we're listing something like crypto on major exchanges for, the institutional investors to take a poke at, I think is going to increase adoption as a whole. MasterCard partners with Nexo, which is a crypto exchange / wallet, to launch their own Nexo card. MetaMask asks users to disable their iCloud backups following an estimated $650 million phishing scam. That's a lot of money. And it's almost as much as the $625 million that was taken from last month's Ronin hack, which was involving Axie Infinity, one of the top DeFi games in the space, confirms that was stolen by a group named Lazarus, which were North Korean hackers. They say that this was confirmed by the FBI. They say that the North Korean hackers are already on to their next project, so be careful out there. Algo stablecoin, which we talked about last week, cut down by governance hijack. There was very little information about this when I tried to look at it. I'd be interested to kind of see more about it. They didn't really give us any specifics, so hopefully more on that at some point later. Digital Funds, which is an e-commerce company, is looking to launch a tokenized S&P 500 fund. Uniswap is hit with a class action lawsuit in relation to flouting security laws, so watch out on Uniswap right now. Binance and Gulf Energy is to establish a crypto exchange in Thailand. The UK Economy Secretary says that they have the opportunity to shape and lead crypto after probably less than 4 months ago, not even wanting to talk about adopting it as a whole into their country's financial fundamentals. Terra, or UST, became the third largest stablecoin in market cap. Ripple CEO says the lawsuit over XRP has gone exceedingly well up to this point, so that's maybe bullish on that. We talked about Ripple in what episode? Was that episode 8? Yeah, we talked about Ripple in episode 8. Goldman Sachs has an immense interest in terms of people wanting to experiment with crypto, and Goldman Sachs has seemingly been a lot of firsts in the crypto space in terms of adoption for institutional investors. Snoop Dogg and Clay Nation launch a NFT collection on the Cardano blockchain. Cardano, by the way, started 400 new projects and 100K new wallets in a month, which is a lot. I am bullish on Cardano for a little pump in the next couple weeks here because of that. If that's just 1 month of adoption, I could see it doubling easily by next month, especially with different influencers joining the space like Snoop Dogg for, the music scene and so on and so forth. Stablecoin protocol Beanstalk Farm loses $182 million in DeFi governance exploit. Again, please be careful in what you're investing in out there right now. It seems to be a lot of nasty things happening. Security is something that does need to be developed over the next couple years for crypto because it seems like this is happening more and more. What's next? Russia finalizing bill to legalize crypto as a form of payment. Robinhood buys the UK crypto platform Ziglu. Crypto exchange KuCoin launches $100 million of funding for NFT creators. The US, or the IRS, is starting to crack down on NFT traders for tax evasion, so hopefully that gets figured out. The NBA announces their dynamic Ethereum NFTs for playoffs, which is going to be 18K NFTs that are going to feature all of the NBA players that are in the playoffs this year, and they're all going to have their unique little GIF attached to it, and you can purchase it through them, which is fucking awesome. Sandbox, which is a metaverse, sets a $4 billion valuation and is seeking to raise over $400 million in funding in the next couple months. Near's price prediction, which is layer 1, is at $20 plus. From some reputable sources that I don't particularly remember right now because I was dumb and didn't write them down. But you can probably look it up, and it'll be on Google for one of the first two. Oh, yeah? The United States is going to launch... USN?
USN is their native stablecoin.
Oh, USN. Well, no wonder why the price is up to, $20. Oh, okay, so Near is following in Luna's footsteps, meaning that now's the time to buy. Luna's valuation right now is at about $96. Near is currently sitting at about $16.15. So if they're trying to follow Near, Luna's roadmap, that's going to make a difference later on. USN stablecoin. USN. I think that's a good place to end it. I was going to tell you guys that Nestle's launching NFTs, but I fucking hate Nestle because their environmental impact is shitty. So the last thing I'll end on then is I am also bullish on DOT because it's a layer 0, and layer 0s are going to be a very important thing in crypto as a whole. But that's it for me. We are moving on from the crypto news. Thank you for joining me tonight. We're going to have a discussion about, some things that I forgot the name.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about some infrastructure. But before we do that, I kind of just want to have an informal conversation with my partner here. And I have a question for you that I want to ask you.
Yikes.
I just want to ask what you're most excited about currently.
What I'm most excited about currently? Well, I'm a simple man. If anybody, the 6 of you that listen to this know, I am all about Solana, and I am all about the upcoming NFT launches as of recent, because as of right now, on the launches on Magic Eden, the good ones, if you can pick out the good ones, are minting for 1.5 to 3 Sol max, and they're 2xing at least in a day.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of hype around the Solana NFTs. They're getting a lot of traction the last I won't want to say 2 weeks, but maybe last month.
Well, even from when we did our Solana Spring episode, it was ramping up.
From the start of that episode, it's kind of just
continuously increased. I mean, D-Gods, Soul Gods, just even those 2 projects, D-Gods came out of fucking nowhere, and Soul Gods, when I looked at them when I joined the space, were 2 Soul.
Soul God.
And Soul Gods are 44
You
price.
told me a little bit about Everseed, which I looked it up. The graphics and the game, it's a MMO.
Yeah, it's an MMO. Made by previous Riot Games employees, which are the makers of League of Legends and Valorant, among their other card games and Wild Rift and shit.
So that was Everseed, and then I can't remember, I lost what I was going to ask you. What else I know you're working on a lot of stuff. What else are you working on?
I am currently working on 2 NFT projects. One I have not started yet. The other one is called the Wolves of Soul Street. It was a recent rug in the last, X amount of days. I'd say 6 days now. And I got the opportunity to be part of a 25-ish. We kind of went through the members today in a meeting, and those that were inactive, we deactivated.
You got rid of the bad eggs on it. So it's called Wolves of Soul Street.
Yeah, Wolves of Soul Street, and we're launching an NFT, and we're thinking Sets on Crack, which is a very large NFT on Solana now.
Okay.
Yeah, Sets on Crack. It's definitely looking like a big thing. Trying to be a community for other rug pulls.
Okay. I'm excited for a few things. One that I saw today was possibly a token for optimism. As we come closer to the ETH merge, I think we're going to get finally Layer 2 season, which I've done a lot of looking into, and if there is a token drop for Optimism, I think that pushes layer 2s. Because what we'll talk about with our infrastructure is a lot of these plays, like the layer 2 tokens and stuff that's helped scale Ethereum, naturally are going to pull some of that volume away from Ethereum. So you could see some traction and some gains on a lot of those cryptos. If Optimism comes out with a crypto, I'm super excited to see when the merge, and if we get a full layer 2 season with Matic, Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, when they all have tokens launching, and all of that combined together would be pretty badass.
Yeah, that sounds pretty badass. I'm not gonna
So
lie.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Near's stablecoin. Possibly. It's not fully confirmed by their own protocol. There's been a lot of talk of it, of USN. And I've been looking a lot at Bastion protocol, or trying to find what the anchor on Near would be. Like Luna Anchor is their treasury. I've been trying to dig deep and find which protocol to look at and to buy into for a possible gain on Nears.
Little digging guy here. Digging up the goods.
3, DeFi Summer strikes back.
Fucking Solana Summer strikes back too,
Solana
baby.
Summer, DeFi Summer. Yesterday could have seen potentially, none of this is financial advice, but yesterday could have potentially be the bottom for an upcoming DeFi Summer, with Aave Synthetics leading the way, which it led the way last DeFi Summer. That's a good indicator to show that they're gaining some ground, and it shows where a lot of people are thinking and potentially allocating some funds. So look out for things like Balancer, Compound, Synthetics, Aave. I mean, there's tons of DeFi plays, but I've been looking and finding ones that have the lowest and possibly the highest gain from multiple time frame supports on a bottom to a all-time high. And I've been looking at, like, CRV could have a 3x, Aave could have a 2x at least, because the highest was at 400 something. It's at like 180, and it's been at that 180 level, so it has a lot of support. So I mean, I would be okay with buying it in this area, which I did. So
Yeah, which he did.
So I do own some Aave.
One thing too, I wanted to say, maybe you can write about that.
Yeah, I should do
you
a
should
little
write
write
about
up
that
on
one,
it.
Yeah, especially about the DeFi, like the DeFi summer coming up. And then if you want to know more about any layer 2 plays that we might have had or talked about in the past, you can look at one of our previous podcast episodes that we did about layer 2s.
And I did look at some of the Solana hackathon winners. They had hackathon this last summer, and I was seeing what projects are still around, if they've gained any ground. One of them was Solarium. Another one that I looked at was a VR art exhibit. You showed me one that had where you could go into like a metaverse type game, and you could see your NFTs in a
Savannahverse or Savannah DAO?
Savannah DAO, yeah. Similar concept that won the Solana hackathon for NFTs was their VR art exhibits. It's called All Art. That was one.
And there's some out there on the Solana blockchain. For example, one that I was looking up. Can you go to Magic Eden? It's called Moon. It's called Moon Network, I think.
Magic Eden.
Yep. You can just press enter now. There you go. Ignore that. Just type in Moon.
Moonland.
Moonland Metaverse.
The Moonland.
Yeah, the Moonland Metaverse is one that I was looking at. You can display your NFTs in your house, and there's 4 of them to choose from, and you can display like a whole bunch of other stuff too, like advertise. Like you can advertise your in real life business there, and like you can visit other people's houses, and it's very interesting. So that's very similar to what you're just talking about, like where you can display all your NFTs but in a gallery.
Those are gonna be big at some point. There's probably gonna be a lot of competitors, but I can't imagine that we have museums and you won't have like a digital VR museum type concept.
The last one that I'm going to talk about in terms of like an NFT play that I really, really wish I would have gotten to whitelist, because I think it's going to be one of the flagships in the space for stuff like this. If I can find it here, it's called SoulSpot. SoulSpot is essentially it's an NFT that is a card that you can store all of your entire NFT profile on in a very unique and closed community. And I say that because I look at it like a personalized link tree, but you can only be a part of the community if you own the NFT. So you create a digital identity. It's like a social media NFT. It's one of the first bigger ones that I've seen that I think is going to have some pretty cool utility, where you can display your NFTs. You can, put everything that you want specifically all in one place, and you can customize your profile however you want to customize it, if it's if it's allowable on the NFT. So it's a customizable NFT. It's like an app. And I think that's fucking awesome.
That is cool. It does remind me of Linktree. Looking at SoulSpot, it is very similar to Linktree in how it looks, but
it's for
it includes NFTs and all
for
that.
Like art collectors.
Art collector Linktree.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's the last one.
All right. I mean, that covers a lot of what we're interested in, what we're doing. I could talk a bit about infrastructure. The first infrastructure that I'll talk about is ETH modularity, which is on Celestia. Celestia runs a bunch of nodes that helps verify blocks throughout the network. And they basically, as more nodes are on the network, they are able to come to an agreement on whether or not the network should approve or deny a transaction, which helps make it decentralized as possible. There is some ways right now there is some different I want to say mechanisms, but there is some different ways that you can check in to see if a network is audited for being decentralized. One way is through what's called the Nakamoto consensus. That's one that I know of. It's a set of rules that verifies the authenticity of a blockchain network using a combination of proof of work algorithms to determine whether or not it's decentralized. Right now, one of the highest ones for being decentralized based on the Nakamoto consensus is Bitcoin. But ETH moving to proof of work to proof of stake, we'll have to see where it falls onto the Nakamoto consensus. The last one, the second place one for being the most decentralized by this set of rules is Avalanche. So basically what they do for the rules is how many nodes are running on the network, which allow it to become more decentralized by fault.
That was a lot of big words on that one. I'm not going to
lie. I do want to say, like, all of this infrastructure stuff, I'm not going to pretend like I know the super nitty-gritty about it. I just want to more tell you about the behind the scenes and what's happening, and maybe some different projects that you can look into, invest into. Celestia doesn't have a token yet, I don't believe, but a lot of these are super in detail and involves pretty much being a dev in blockchain to like fully understand it. Like I said, the main premise of it and me talking about these infrastructure is you don't necessarily always think of these when you're looking at, say, Ethereum. You don't think of Celestia, but it's running in the background to make it decentralized, and is what helps keep the glue and the architecture, like a house foundation, pretty much on top beneath the blockchain to help keep it decentralized. People always tout like, oh, it's decentralized, but this is what makes it actually, like, the rules and what it does in order for it to become decentralized. The next project that I'll talk about, we use a bit of their RPC on DeFi Kingdoms, which is Poked Network. They do have a token you can buy. Not financial advice. It is something could be worthy to invest in now because they're only upgrading a lot of what they're doing. They consider themselves the Uber for servers, because you technically don't know what server it is when you query into their network.
They call themselves the future of Web3. And what they do is they're trying to build it from the ground up so that it's safe. And I talked about safety earlier in the news. Being kind of shitty lately.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, community members, like a lot of things now, are going to have the opportunity to vote in the governance and what they want to do at the treasury. And it's definitely an interesting concept in terms of their ability to provide utility that really isn't seen yet.
So basically what I've used with Poct is the RPCs. There's a lot more involved, and I recommend you check them out if you're interested more in what they do. The next one we have is
Arweave.
Arweave. The token is AR. Like a rifle? No, is that a
Assault rifle, buddy.
assault rifle? That makes sense.
Yeah, AR, assault rifle. There you go.
So they are a permanent data storage. They are a storage solution for a lot of NFTs, and the main premise of them is they are kind of like, if you've heard of Filecoin, but they are much more scalable in their tokenomics. They're the back-end storage solution for a lot of NFTs and different crypto projects. So if you like storage and you think like that's a pretty big deal and pretty important thing for crypto, which it is as more projects build and you need more storage with more projects, Arweave is looking to help solve the storage solution for crypto. Moving along to Lido, LDO, Lido Finance. Lido offers a lot of staking solutions. I've looked at some of their APRs, not bad. They have a lot of different projects that you can look at staking. Jake mentioned two on here, ETH Terra and Solana Kusama.
That is true. Kusama.
At a 23.9% APR stake, which is pretty good.
The rest of them are under 10.
So basically, it's a staking solution that you present tokens for collateral, and they give you other rewards for that. It's a DeFi protocol.
There's over 100 stakers, or 100K. There's 100K stakers that use their different apps and so on and so forth, and their staking options with 29 different ecosystem applications.
So I've seen a lot about Lido, and it is pretty cool. I haven't heard a lot about it on, see a lot of people hyped about it. The thing about a lot of these infrastructure plays is they're so important, they're necessary as hell, but they don't get the bids for people buying because they're not a very fun talk about. They're very technical, and I don't think a lot of these really catch a narrative, so to speak, and run super hard. They're more of could be a very, very long-term play, and once they do, and once people understand it, once more retail people dig deep enough, they'll understand how important it is, and that's when I finally think it's more of a future investment, long-term investment that it's not going to be a quick gainer, but it's going to be it's vital to crypto. If you believe in crypto, you gotta look in determining the intrinsic value of some of these.
That's why I bought Sol domains.
Exactly. I mean,
you gotta
look at it in a long time horizon. A lot of these infrastructure plays are a long time horizon.
Verified Solana domain holder.
One of the smallest market caps is Aleph.im, and they are a cloud platform that offers computing services. They also do file storage like Arweave or Arweave.
Is that how you say it? How do you say it?
Arweave? That's
no, not Arweave.
Oh, Aleph.im.
It sounds way cooler if it was Aleph.im.
Aleph.im? I'm not sure how you say it. Main thing is it indexes. I don't know the technical way to say it. It indexes NFTs on the Solana and Ethereum blockchain. So if you're bullish on NFTs in general, you can look to allocate some non-financial advice to Aleph because they index all the NFTs through their storage.
Fuck, bro, I don't have any money left.
Through their cloud platform, all the NFTs through at some point Solana and Ethereum will go potentially through Aleph. And they are partnered with Ubisoft to bring their index their NFTs through their platform. That's a huge partnership.
That is a huge partnership. That's a major retail gaming brand jumping in.
The partnership is with Neon Labs, and they're going to add all the transactions through Ethereum Solana. Do you have anything to add about Aleph.im?
I did a little of my own research last night. I saw you did the technical stuff. So what they're going to offer, they offer the ability to build websites, socials, they have document management and certifications. You can host websites and build D-apps on them. It's going to have MetaMask encryption soon. They're very early in their roadmap, actually. When you look at their website.
It's only a 48 million market cap.
Yeah,
so it could be
super early.
Diamond in the rough for sure.
And Jen talked about this earlier, but it's an indexer, which is basically because it's an indexer, which is a document reviewer for.
Okay, I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know that an indexer exactly.
Yeah, it means. I looked it up. It said some really fancy words, and what it boiled down to is that it reviews the transactions or the documents on Solana and Ethereum.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I gathered from it. And then there's something called, like on Solana, the Solana aggregator, which is just a website or like a portion of the blockchain that's includes, a variety of different things on it. And then there's also staking pools.
Okay.
So that's kind of the utility as a whole, and it's super early in their roadmap still. Meaning not financial advice, but probably going to be one that I buy and hold for 3 years.
Yeah, that's one I've been looking at buying myself. So the last protocol that I have for you guys, and one of the most known infrastructure plays, is Chainlink. Chainlink, you can think about it exactly like chain. Like, you have blockchains that all connect together, and they use Chainlink to communicate, basically. They combine external resources through an easy-to-use framework, and they can write hybrid smart contracts that overall connects the blockchains together and allows them to communicate with one another. They use what's called data oracles, and compared to like other blockchains that uses time-weighted average price, or TWAP, oracles are better because in times of high volatility, when the chains need to communicate to each other about price or things to do for transactions, oracles give you the most accurate and real-time data over time-weighted average price.
And Chainlink's been around for a little while already too, right? Like, what's their token at? I think it's at like $16.
Link is at $6. It has seen really bad returns the last. If you dig deep, everything uses Chainlink, but it has some of the worst gains. So that's really mainly in part because of their vesting schedule, which is last year they had a vesting period where 20% of their holders got in like under $1, and that vesting schedule, after last year, they finally offboarded all of those cryptos.
Also, it pumped.
So it pumped like at a random point last year when that vesting period ended. It pumped, but what you see is Link actually had, like Bitcoin, how a lot of that crypto moves off exchanges. Link is the actual second most crypto that's moved off of exchanges. Do you know what that signifies?
Longevity?
Longevity is those people moving off exchanges, those people that bought those cryptos off that vesting schedule. That just shows they're in it for the long run.
So who's really the next Bitcoin?
Those cryptos moving into long-term cryptos moving into long-term holders is extremely bullish, because those people are convicted and they're not just gonna like dump their tokens. I mean, and not at these prices. There would be no.
Link right now is $14, bro.
Yeah, if you look and dig deep, Chainlink. I said TWAP, that with their oracles they use VWAP, which is volume weighted average price. I just want to make that clear. It just makes it that VWAP.
It just, dude.
It shows the most real time data.
Okay.
For transactions over TWAP, which is like what Uniswap uses.
I'm literally looking at buying Link right now. I'm not even lying. It's $14.
Link is one you're gonna have to understand. Like all of these, as I said before, is they're long-term plays. Nothing, if you're investing, should be weeks, months. It should be years. So
This is when you onboard off to your wallet that you have for the
put
first
it in
time.
fucking cold storage.
Yeah.
Forget you ever bought it, and you'll probably be happy in the next few years.
Yeah, you have no idea what's gonna happen.
That's really the rundown on what we had for infrastructure. There's tons of more plays that you can look at. There's tons of diamonds in the rough, and
there's just so much opportunity out there right now. Everything is, like Jake said, everything is coiled right now. It's just waiting to explode.
Yeah, it's the middleware, and it's the biggest incline in crypto, and it's the most necessary component of crypto that nobody talks about. Thank you for listening to episode number 11 of Testing the Space podcast. I'm Jake.
I'm Jake.
And this is signing off. I gotta go watch a Bucks game. Fuck.